Hi everybody. We are back. Yeah. So I don't know why I said my brain went like that. We are back for another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse. Because the other one came out not long ago, that's why I'm just there. And yeah, I'm the man who is the Russian knockoff of Captain America who went nowhere and now drives a limo. Carl Charles and
Yeah, and I'm the MCU version of the Suicide Squad.
Yes. Well, kind of better. And
well, it is. Okay, wait.
Yeah,
okay, no, you go first.
I was gonna say it kind of is, but
but it kind of also isn't. So
yeah, but one's advertised more. Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. And we are back to review Marvel's Thunderbolts Asterix, and the Asterix is a very important thing. Which I actually liked what they did with this. Which came out literally recently. And apparently this is the end of phase 5, I think.
Well, it depends if you're counting. Well, if we're saying there is Fantastic Four and then it goes into...
Yeah, I think it's Fantastic. Well, I think Fantastic Four might be the start of the new phase. I have no actual idea.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that will lead into the next Avengers movie, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
so
whatever comes out between now and that.
It just depends on
what they say.
Sometimes they do things as a captain, like if one of the Spider-Mans was the end of a phase instead of the beginning of the next phase.
Yeah.
So I think as Far From Home was the end after Endgame. It was that wasn't the beginning of the next phase. It was the final end of that particular phase.
Yeah. So
okay, so non-spoiler reviews for Thunderbolts. I will say I got them very much Suicide Squad vibe. Not to say it's a knockoff or anything like that, but what's it called? What's her name? Valentina.
Taskmaster.
No, Valentina. Valentina.
The Fontaine.
The Fontaine.
Yeah.
She gave me very much Amanda Waller vibes, and I say Amanda Waller vibes from the movies of Suicide Squad. Actually, no, partially some of that from the animated movies as well.
I don't know because
the personality is different, but then I'll just say be like them scheming, the backhanded scheming style.
But I don't know because like no spoilers. Like I feel like Amanda Waller isn't like here trying to hide what she's doing. Everyone knows what she's doing.
It's true.
This woman kind of like trying to hide. That's why I wouldn't.
Yeah, Amanda Waller, she comes in and she's like, "This is what's going to happen, right?"
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, then something else is going to happen.
Yeah.
And you people aren't going to like that.
Yeah.
Even though you aren't liking the first thing either, but the second thing will be even worse. So here's two bad choices. You make your choice.
Yeah. But with the Fontaine, she was kind of like, until the start of this movie, she had a plan, and then like everything else, I think she's kind of like just, all right, I kind of got to like
make it up as she goes along.
Yeah, like go with the flow at this point. Yeah, so that's why I can't really see familiarities about him. But cool.
Yeah, I think it's more of like there's a plan that benefits that person only. That sort of thing.
But then again, like with Waller, I don't think she had the plan that just benefits her. She's doing what she feels will save the world. This woman's kind of like, because she even kind of says
sacrifices.
Yeah, this woman kind of says like, it's kind of I just care about me and getting like ahead of the world. Like, okay, fair enough. Unlike Waller, has like.
I did like that they decided to get any surviving members of any MCU movies and put them together as a team that is bunch of. I want to say, not necessarily. Look, they're team unit, but if team members die, you send them on the crazy missions. When I say it's like Task Force S / Suicide Squad, what I mean is like they're who's gonna care if these particular members of the group die? Then you just send them to do something, That's why I'm saying but it's not exactly the same because Suicide Squad, they're like criminals and they're like these are just Black Ops. They are villains or agonists that have been grouped together as a Black Ops team.
Yeah.
And you know how it is with Black Ops. We disavow any knowledge, right?
Yeah. And kind of with these Thunderbolts, they're kind of not like that. It was just like all wet work kind of people, and then kind of get tricked into doing something, and then like, okay, we have to sort of You have no choice now.
You know what? What is so funny? Because if this movie could have been done in 10 minutes if everything went to plan.
Yeah, literally. Like, oh, okay, that was it. Yeah. That would have been.
But yeah, no, I like them. I like them, and I also like in the movie they call it out that most of these people punch and kick.
Yeah, no one's like super powered or anything. Right, like
yeah, exactly. You got a little bit of tech there, here and there, but it's just like, we're all very similar in our abilities.
Yeah, literally, like none of us can like lift up buildings and stuff like, or are gods. Well,
yeah. Which then makes them more. That's why I think there's better amount of tension in this movie because first of all, they might not survive.
Yeah.
But then their power set doesn't lend them to abilities where they can survive explosions or get thrown out buildings and stuff like that. Anything ludicrous, you know.
Yeah.
They'd be like, nah, later.
Yeah, and they kind of do that in this as well. They're like, I don't need this. So some points are like, do I really need to be doing this? I don't know. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I like the chemistry in the group. As well.
I like them how they put the group together.
Yeah.
Right. Why are they? How they were put together?
Yeah.
Why they are together and why they continue to stay together?
Yeah.
All made sense.
Yeah.
And then how they conclude the entire movie also made sense.
Yeah.
And then the end credits.
Yep.
Also made sense.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of sense.
The pre-end credits and the end credits, and you're like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
it's not one of those things where you think they stump it together like Captain America: Brave New World. Even though you did like it, right?
Yeah.
There were bits we were like, that come out of a reshoot. Or that went there. That wasn't supposed to be there. Well, there's another way around it, right? Here it's like, okay, there to there, all makes sense.
Yeah, it all makes sense. It wasn't. You couldn't feel. It didn't feel like any bit was like changed because of like negative reactions or whatever.
Yeah. And I say, when outside looking in, you'd be like, okay, some of them are decisions, but they are the correct decisions by the character's personality.
Yeah. And the characters are very good. Yes.
Yeah. So I think they all did good here. I thought there were going to be some cameo appearances, maybe, or something like that. But then you're like, oh, well, don't really need them.
Yeah, it didn't really at all.
Well, probably at the end. But then again, as with all movies that are interconnected universe, it's like, well, if there's something going on, where is the other hero that is not in this film?
Yeah, but like. When people complain about that, I'm like, but the same thing happens in the comics, so why you can sort of complain about that?
Yeah.
But there was something else I really. It'll come to me. Okay. What was it?
Yeah. So everyone's costumes look cool as well, except for Bucky Barnes didn't really. Winter Soldier didn't really wear a costume,
which I was okay with because.
Yeah.
Did he really like?
Well, he didn't even wear tactical gear.
Yeah, but I bet because when you think about it, he didn't really think it was going to be a situation where it got into. You know, what I mean? Like when he rescued.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, like all the others make sense for them wearing their costumes. Like him to bear one, that it would look cool and everything, but it'd be like, but did he expect all this to happen?
Yeah.
So I was alright with that. Yeah, and the introductions to a certain new character, I thought I liked how they did that. Yeah, because I didn't know this character was in the film until literally watching. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Right.
I read spoilers. If we're talking about the same character without talking about the same character,
yeah, we are. We'll get to him.
Anyway. I read they were going to be in it somewhere because people like to spoil everything, right? Yeah. But my logic was like, how are we going to get these bunch of people
to there
and put them against that character?
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay. That's a cool way of putting it. Because it kind of better than his original comic origin, because that's the most convoluted origin of all time.
I thought they were going to do something like that something like that happened, and then that's it.
No, because I thought it was that way. I'm like, please don't do that, because then that's just kind of stupid. Yeah. Like, well, I'm glad they didn't. I was like, yeah, that's good. Yay. This version makes more sense. Like in their universe anyway. Yeah.
And in where it led to certain character moments, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
I see that, and I see how that got to that.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, well, yeah, it doesn't have to be an all action conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even like the end because it wasn't really like an all action sort of thing. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I was watching. I was thinking, how are they gonna?
Yeah, same.
If they're going that way, how are they gonna do it? Right.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, it doesn't need it. It doesn't.
It doesn't. That's why I liked him. I was like, oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, because first of all, they did the first thing where they just like jobbed everyone out, and you're like, "What? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, makes sense,
how are you gonna do anything else?"
Like, if you're gonna do it then, what's makes you think you're gonna do it later? Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's smart.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done something where there was a divide, right? But then you're getting into territory where you're like, okay, I have to explain this and I have to explain that. It's like, no.
Yeah, no, just do it this way. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I get what you mean. The divide. Yeah, because then that'd be kind of too much.
But yes, because we're talking around things without talking.
Talking around things.
I enjoyed the film. It was more of I want to say, it was a character drama with action beats within it.
Yeah, like one of my friends said this, and I was like, you know what? I get what you mean now. Because it's kind of like the first Avenger film. Like, it really is. Except, like, obviously, it doesn't end with the whole city destroying climax like Avengers does, but like how it starts, and then in the middle, sort of like, we kind of have to be forced to do something, and then they become all friends.
But I think in the first Avengers, as far as the structure is similar, the first Avengers film had the Loki fighting Captain America, and then even they didn't really fight, right? But you had that bit, and then you had Thor and Iron Man fighting, and then you had other bits which were kind of a bit more spectacle driven, right?
Yeah.
Thor fighting a Hulk and the helicarrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have that, so you can't. I don't want to say it's the same vibes as that, right? But like, I know what you mean. Like, how they put the characters together. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
So would you say then the tone of it is Avengers and Suicide Squad combined? The Suicide Squad, by the way, or 2006 Suicide Squad, 16 to Suicide Squad.
I don't know, because I wouldn't class 2016 Suicide Squad as not saying as a film, but I don't know. And 2019 or 2020, whatever it was, 21. Sorry, that's a bit more like balls to the wall.
Yeah, or a black comedy.
Yeah. So you might be right. It's probably Avengers and a bit of 2021 Suicide Squad. Yeah. Like the antics in a way, but But this one had more of a point to it, if that makes sense. Not saying that the Suicide Squad doesn't have a point to it, because I really like that film, but this has more of a straightforward point. Yeah.
Well, this film probably takes, if you break it down, in universe, takes place within day to night.
Yeah. If anything, free.
Except for the bit at the beginning,
Yeah.
There's a bit at the beginning that takes place whenever it takes place, right?
Yeah.
And then by the time of the actual start, it's it's probably about 6 hours.
I think a bit more than that because of travel and stuff. But if anything, like I said, like within a day, that's all that happens. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
They must have been like them characters must have been proper ragged at that point.
Yeah.
No wonder why they like,
I need a break after this. But then because of what happens at the end, they didn't get a break. Which the end, when we get to it, I really like the end. I thought it was quite smart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, so you will say off the bat, go ahead and watch it.
Yeah, off the bat, go ahead and watch it. Yeah. Really enjoy it.
There is action, but it's not action orientated movie.
Yeah, which I kind of think
that's what you got to be. I want to say aware of, but it's not going to be a spectacle.
Yeah,
to a certain degree.
Which I kind of think the Marvel universe kind of needs right now. If it were going towards like Doomsday and whatever, which I think is not going to be super actiony thing either. It's going to be like more of a setup to whatever comes next.
I do like it. There's certain movies have certain different tones, like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, as wacky as that film is, did have horror vibes in it, right? Which is good because some of the other films don't, and most of them they're action adventure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you get Shang-Chi obviously kind of is a martial arts film. But...
Yeah.
ish, right?
And Winter Soldier is a spy espionage sort of film.
Yeah, exactly. So anything you could get like that's a variation
Slightly
of
different.
the tone. It just makes it a bit more fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the one they tried too much to be away from the tone was Eternals, the one that no one talks about. That tried to be like
the black sheep, right?
Yeah, that's tried to be like a family drama sort of weird thing, and it just didn't sort of go anywhere.
Didn't click.
Yeah,
exactly.
Poor film. Yeah. But yeah.
Wait, look, I'm saying thumbs up. I'm saying go ahead and watch it. Thumbs up.
I'll say thumbs up.
Is there mid credits? There's mid credits, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's mid credits.
Yeah.
And then which is a very minor, and then there's the end credits, of course.
Yeah. Which mid credits quite funny. Yeah.
And then in my cinema, they had the trailer playing the thing at the end credits before the actual film.
Yeah,
which I'm gonna watch it anyways.
Yeah, I saw that.
They had the trailer for Superman as well.
Oh, because I literally got there like just in time. And I was like,
the film?
Yeah, because I saw the end of the Fantastic Four trailer. Then that was it. Yeah, I realized halfway through saying that. Like, ooh. And then I think I saw another trailer. That was it. Yeah, I literally got there just in time.
Yeah. And then they had the Superman trailer, and I was like, yeah, I'm already going to watch some of these films, so I don't really need to see the trailers for. Yeah. But then when sometimes you just kind of trying to cover your eyes, but then you capture a blink of something, and it's a spoil something in the movie.
Yep. That's probably going to be like a key point to the film, but yeah, sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyways, you're saying watch this Thunderbolts, and I am saying watch Thunderbolts as well.
Watch it,
right?
yes.
And then now we're on to non-spoil. Unless there's something you want to say before we move on to non-spoil.
No. Thunderbolts asterisk. Yeah. That's what I call
it. Yeah. So film starts with Yelena just can't be like, yeah, this is my life now.
Yeah.
You know what? She come off like it. She's just been like not having a depression, but kind of life is just not going. It's funny because it is like the comparison be just like, yeah, it's not I'm stuck in a dead end job, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but it's like, okay, well, no, because
dead end job is, but
I'm just going every day is a new thing, but it's the same thing where I just break into something, steal something, beat up a bunch of people.
Yeah. And you're like, oh,
I want something different. I want some change. And I was like, yeah, okay.
So I get where you're coming from, but you have specific skills. I mean, so
yeah,
a bit of a change.
So she break into a secure facility to get a something, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, to clean up something to get. She's got the dude tied up.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to remove the tape from his face.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's going to scream.
Yeah.
So and then one of the other scientists tries to come across the shooter down. She's like, oh, right now I have to blow up the place so I could get in now.
Yeah.
And then he tries shooting at her, and then they have a tangle while she's trying not to kill him, and he ends up shooting himself in the face. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And she's like,
oh. Great. Now we have to blow up this place. Yeah.
Exactly.
And yeah.
And then she basically she's outside of the building now. She's making a call to Valentina in Kuala Lumpur somewhere. And she goes, oh yeah, the mission's and she takes a second to look behind her.
Yeah.
Building floor blows up. She goes, yeah, the mission's done now, right?
Yeah.
And after this, by the way, do you mind? I mean, I've done so many of these for you. Can I have a change of scenery?
Yeah.
I'd like to,
She wants a public facing job now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be like this.
Don't be assassin anymore.
Yeah. Killing people. I mean,
Yeah.
There's
only so much you can do.
Some people end up killing themselves, but hey.
But, there's only so much you can do that before you start feeling nothing. Yeah. Ooh.
Exactly.
Poor girl.
And she's like, yeah. I'm gonna deal with something, but I'll get back to you. Essentially.
Yeah, and then this where we see Valentina Allegrella de Fontaine in court. So basically, they're trying to impeach her because they've kind of find out she's doing dodgy stuff, and she's like, "Well, I'm not doing anything dodgy." And then she tries to play up like the whole like the public thing, like I'm only doing all this because of to help the people and stuff. And they're like, "Dude, we know you're doing like dastardly things. Why are you trying this? Why are you being this person?" So then,
you do that double speak where no, I'm doing this stuff to protect you people, right?
yeah,
But sometimes there's things that you people don't know about
yeah,
that we have to do,
yeah,
right, for your protection.
yeah, and they're like, well,
But we NDAs and all that stuff, so we can't really say. So how can you say there's anything bad when you don't know? Because
yeah,
no one here is speaking about it.
and she's like, and then they're like, you kind of got us there, but we're gonna have proof. When we have proof, because we are gonna like search your facilities to find anything. She's like, yeah, well, we find nothing to search there. They're all clean. Then it kind of jumps to her going through one of their vaults, like getting rid of everything with all our crew. It's like, yeah, okay,
yeah.
this place down.
Assistant, get it out of the way, get it gone.
All gone, because they're gonna come here at some point, and we need to be ahead of that. And like, okay, and then I think this is where she rings her later. Her name is Helena.
No. Does Yelena go to speak to
Yeah, she has to speak to Red Guard. Yeah, her
Guardian,
her adopted father, and he's like, so I'm living a good life. Well, basically, they're both kind of lying about how their lives are. Like he's trying to say, he tells her, he runs a limo service now. And he's like chauffeuring all these important people around. And he's loving his life, even though before that happens, you see him watching a video from his heyday, like trying to relive the memories, and then she kind of goes there. You could tell that she wants to talk about something. But she doesn't know how to do it, so they have a talk and everything like that. And he kind of slightly cottons onto it, but he doesn't ask or anything. But he just says, "Yeah, you're a great girl," and like, blah 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 blah. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, give me Valentina's number, so the Red Guard can get some of this money and become famous again." But she's like, "Oh, I thought you said you was happy." He's like, "No, I'm not happy." he's like, "No." Oh, and then she leaves, and then she keeps having dreams about her old life and the first person she kind of killed or was in the hand of. She's a part of the person getting killed, and that's kind of like dawning on her. And then she gets
because then Red Room Black Widow training facilities are like
messed up. Yeah,
they ain't good, right?
No, messed up is the nicest way of putting it. Yeah, and then she gets a call from Valentina saying, "Oh yeah, got one last job for you, and then you can, get the front office job. I just need you to go to one of the facilities. It's something a mile underneath the mountain. Just need to go in there, track the target, kill the target, and that's it." She's like, "Oh, okay, I can do that." So then we kind of cut to wherever this facility is. I'm gonna say somewhere in a mountainy part of America. Yeah, so she gets there.
Grand Canyon-ish looking area.
Yeah. She gets there, and then she's scouting out the place, and she sees someone go through a wall. See what's did there? Goes through a wall. She's like, okay, cool, that must be a target. So then Valentina's like, "Oh yeah, your biometrics is in the system, so you can get through the doors and everything. It'd be fine to get in. Once you get the target, boom." So then she does that, goes in, doesn't have to do any of her White Widow stuff. She just gets to the vault and she finds a ghost. "Oh, I'm here to kill you." And Ghost's like, "Oh, okay, I don't know who you are." So then they start scuffling, and then John Walker is. I might get the appearances messed up.
No. John Walker's next, because John Walker out of nowhere just kind of what's it? I don't know if he front kicks or something to Yelena, but all of a sudden she goes flying to the side.
Yeah,
and she's like, what's going on here? And then John Walker's like, "Yep. So
I'm not here for you. Yeah,
we're going to be eliminated."
Yeah.
What?
Like,
okay. Yeah. And then as they're having a scuffle where she is trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And obviously he's been a bit more slack because he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Luckily her training is keeping her up because obviously he's super soldier.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think he's just like wondering, "Hey,
yeah, like, okay.
The target. Why is this target capable of doing this?"
I'm a super soldier, damn it! No one should be able to keep up with me.
Yeah. And then, I think he's about to shield slice her or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Taskmaster push kicks him out.
Yeah.
And then Ghost comes after her, and then it's like a 4-way scuffle where everyone's fighting each other.
Yeah, because they don't know.
Occasionally around.
Yeah, because they don't know what's going on. Because the only ones who know they're not against each other is her, Lyanna and Taskmaster. Because Taskmaster says to her, Mars comes down and goes, "I'm not here for you." He's like, okay, and she watches her because obviously they're friends, kind of. Because of what happened in Black Widow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good movie. And
then John Walker, being a brute force fire as he does, right?
Yep.
Just starts throwing furniture. Well, I say furniture, but there is where all the experimental cages and all that stuff is.
Yeah.
The cells and blocks and all that stuff, and he just throws stuff at Yelena, like at where Yelena's hiding.
Yeah.
Even though there's a triple threat match going on that side, and she's being stealthy because she's like.
She's probably the one. Powers? Yeah, she's one who's like the disadvantage of all these people. Yeah.
And then and he throws something and it bounces off a block she timed behind, and it hits one of these cells that open up something else.
Yeah.
And then while that's going on, Ghost managed to slip behind Taskmaster and shoot her in the head. And I'm like, huh? All right, that was quick.
Yeah, like,
Olga Kurylenko got paid what she got paid, right?
Yeah.
For the day's work, and then she got paid to do the press tour.
Yep.
You know what, lady?
Hats off to her, man. Hats off. Like she's living my dream. That's something I would love to do. Just like get paid to do one little thing and then just coast.
And what is funny as well, the funniest thing is essentially when you look at it, it was probably a stunt woman in the suit. Until the mask came off.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
She probably did half a day's work.
Yeah, if that. Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. And
she's actually for real dead.
Yeah.
Because I was assuming she's going to come back.
The same was like,
or something like
she's going to come back, right? And then something happens in a minute. I'm like, no, she's not coming back from there.
Yeah. And then they put a fake version of her in the trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
And there was speculation. Oh no, I'll get to that. There was speculation that this other character was going to end up killing her, and that's why she wasn't in the rest of the trailers.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yep. So then,
but I will say at this point, right? She's the only character. Taskmaster's the only character that is not baseline or above like superhuman, like a super soldier level, right? But her powers would have given her a different sort of vibe, not vibe to the movie, but it could have added something different to the team. And I was like, oh. You know, you got most guys, like they say, you can punch and kick and stuff like that. To be fair, Taskmaster can also do that, right? But with all the other weapons, she can do other stuff. And just okay.
I think that's probably when we get to like, I think that wouldn't work in the last fight. Probably that's what I'm like, you know.
Oh, nothing would have worked in the
I'm saying like
fight,
it'd be like, so if you become even less irrelevant. I mean,
you're right. It would have been the same as everyone else.
She hasn't got much of a character, actually, so yeah.
All right, but so they all start like realizing what's going on. But then this dude pops out of the thing, right? Of the side of the one of the units, right? And he's like, "Oh right, I'm here. I don't know what's going on. You guys seem to have worked out that." You're all after each other.
But,
right? Without knowing it. And you're asking me who I'm after. But I don't even know why I'm here, so I can't help you guys.
I just woke up. Okay. And then this is when they kind of all clocked, like, who sent you? And they all said, I'm working for Valentina's like, oh, yep, this all makes sense now. We're the pieces that can tie her together to what's going on. So she wants to get rid of us. Yeah.
And then they also work out, they're like, wait a minute, but if we all sent it to kill each other, then surely someone would survive at the end, right?
Yep.
So then what is her plan from that point? And I think Ghost is like, well, later, I'm just going to walk out here. And then they got the sonic whatever barriers that stopped her getting out. And then the rest of the room activates like red lights. And then the temperature goes up and they're like,
But it's a shredder. It's a shredder. And John was like, no, it's not. And like, dude, come on now. Because, you know, he's still like, nah, I'm the good person here and I'm going to be...
I, even though I'm the US agent and I killed someone with my shield back in the day,
on live TV, I mean, like...
I'm the good guy and the rest of yous, right? you're expendable. You're the bad guys that have been put on this team.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that's actually been a good guy. And like, yeah, but...
and then it starts getting hot. Then he clock. And then there's a 2-minute timer comes up on the wall. And they're like, oh, in 2 minutes, it's going to incinerate everything. So then they work together to find the generator that stops the supersonic sound thing. So then, so Ghost can go out and open the door. So then they get to talk, like, you know, usual action movie stuff where it gets to like the last couple of seconds. Ghost gets out with 30 seconds left, and Ghost gets out, and they're like, okay, cool. Any minute now, she's gonna open this door. And then they're like, okay, she's not coming back. So they start panicking, and they're like, basically about to embrace death. Then doors open, and Ghost's like, come on, let's go. So then they all get out, and they're like, oh, you came back for us. Like, yeah, well, I couldn't get past anything else, so I need you guys. Like, okay,
yeah. The elevator's not working, so
so like, okay. So then, I think. Oh, yeah, so
then it flipped. Go on.
Oh, there's one little bit. So when the incinerator goes off, there's like kind of an explosion sort of thing happens. So then they all go flying out of the room, and Ileana falls down, and then when she lands, she's holding Bob's hand. But then she has a dream about the Red Room and killing that kid, and she's like, wait, what? Why? And she's seen it from a third person. She's like, okay, that's weird. And then she comes to, and she's holding Bob's hand, and he's like, what? And he's like, oh, sorry. She said she thought nothing, thinks nothing of it, whatever. And then this is when, okay, we need to get to the top of this mountain somehow. And then they find like a shop and like, oh, I can't see the top. And John Walker's like, don't be silly. I can jump that. I'll get some rope and be back. And then he jumps. You're like, okay. Then he starts flying back down as he's back. Like, oh, that's higher than I thought. I'm like, oh, okay. So then they all figure out how they're going to get up and what stuff.
Oh,
then,
yeah. By the way, at this point, then it switches to Valentina doing her... Yeah, but just as you were saying that about the John Walker thing, right? Yeah. He's got his shield, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me you couldn't jump, grab your shield into the wall, and then pull up, do the salmon like ladder, each until you get to the top.
Yeah. Well, anyways, as you saying, then it flips back to
Valentina,
doing
her spiel at some fundraiser or something like
fundraiser about the Avengers or something like that.
Well, it's more like a what's it called? Publicity spinning event, not spinning event.
Yeah,
like a media.
She's kind of doing like sort of damage control. So it's like, this is I'm great, we're all great, and then the congressman who's trying to get her done is like, we all know you're lying, right? So why are you doing this? Why are you wasting our time? And she's like, well, you came here anyway, so he's like, okay, you kind of got me there. There's one funny bit where they're arguing, and then someone come take a picture, and they pretend like they like it. So like, yeah, it's so great.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. And then she gets they're talking. Then her assistant comes, Mel. I like the assistant in the film. I thought she was really good.
Yeah.
Comes. Oh yeah. You're wanted over there. Blah blah blah. So she goes. And then Bucky comes, and he's like, I kind of hate these things. And goes to the center guy's like, we could just bust her, right? So, no, we've got great proof coming, and we're going to serve us her rights. And he's like, okay, you could tell he's kind of like bored of his life, what he's doing now, and he wants more excitement. And then he goes to talk to the assistant, Mel, and tries to flip her. And he's like, he starts saying to her, she goes, I know what you're trying to do. He's like, what? Because, you're trying to flip me. He's like, well, yeah, that was part of my old line of work, so those kind of things never changed. Like, yeah. He goes, well, if you want to do something good with your life, and gives her the card, and he's like, what's this? He goes, my business card. And I thought, I kind of like this bit because it's kind of, it's like kind of a joke, and it's like, you're an old man. We don't know, I'm young. We don't use business cards anymore. It's like QVR codes or whatever sort of thing. So I was like, that's kind of funny. He's an old man out of time. And then, so that happens, and then.
Yeah, we go back to the
Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolts asterisk before the Thunderbolts. And then we see them linked arms, like walking up the wall. So
just like The Rock in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Yeah. That's a good reference. That film was hilarious.
they're doing the same. They're doing the similar thing like those guys did. All right, okay, fair.
That's good.
Yeah. Except that Bob hasn't got any shoes.
Yeah.
So the guys, they already they look up, right, and they see like how much they've got to go, and all you see is blackness at the top.
Yeah.
And then they look down, and they're like, well, there's blackness down there as well.
Yeah. So we might as well keep going up. So yes.
Yeah.
Keep going a bit more.
And then so we go back to Valentina and Mel in the car, right? And they're talking that double speak about, so your guests that arrived in the facility, they have not left yet. They are still what's it called? What's the word they used? They're still checked in, and haven't been. Was it their time in the facility had not expired or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And then the Valentina's go, I just stopped talking around in circles. They're still there. And they come, yeah. And then she shows them the security video. And she's like, okay, send Hyde and all the men there to like neutralize.
First, she's like, who's this other guy with him?
Yeah.
I didn't send him to go. What? Someone get a face scan or whatever on him, because
who's he?
Well, first of all, he's not meant to be there. Yeah, it was like, I sent everyone else, so I know exactly who's where.
So how did Homeboy get there? Yeah. And then, and then they get out the limo because they get out of the destination. Then it pans over and we see it's the Red Guardian in the front seat, like, and he remembers that Ileana is going to do it. Right?
Yeah.
I can't remember if she told him he was doing it. There must be something off screen where he knew that she was. Yeah. Oh no, she knew because he said that he knew because he's working for her, and it's like what?
Yeah. Because he wanted to work for her as well. And then he got her. He tried to get the number off Yelena.
Yelena.
And you could say, okay, fine, it's coincidental that Red Guardian is the limo driver.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he wouldn't be on Valentina's radar anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I guess she doesn't know that Red Guardian is related to Yelena somehow, or something like that. But you know, like, why if you're gonna have other people interact? I don't know. Like, if something were to happen as well, then you got Red Guardian protecting you from the So it's not out of the realms. I mean, it's a bit coincidental, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. How she is, you know, how Valentina is.
Yeah, because for all we know, Valentina, she probably even organized the limo. It might be someone else who organized it for them. So it's one of those sort of things. She's so below her, she doesn't really care. Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, my daughter," sort of thing. And then you pan back to the friends where they're a bit higher and they see like a door and they're like, "Hey, we can get to that door." Well, one of us can. And they're like, "Okay, but if one of us go, we're all gonna fall, right?" And they're like, "No, it'll be fine." And then
and Bob's about to sneeze as well. Yeah. So he's like,
if I sneeze,
obviously it's going to be some sort of cramp, tense up maneuver. Yeah. So then they're all going to slip down. So he's like, they're like, okay, well, what are we going to do here? Yeah. And Walker's like, look, just give it to me. Give me the baton and I can get up there.
Yeah.
Logically speaking, by the way, they should just crawl up a bit further.
Yeah.
And then they could just, like, Walker could then just jump into that and drag everyone else with him because he's a super soldier. So.
Yeah, which would make more sense. But anyway.
But at this point, they don't even trust each other because they've all been hired to kill each other.
Yeah. So they're like, okay. So then Bob's about to sneeze, and then Walker's like, screw this. And he gets the baton and gets in and all that stuff. And then they're all falling, then they will catch each other, sort of. Yeah. And they're like, happy days. And they're all pissed at Walker, right? Because obviously he got killed. And then.
And he's like, what do you mean? You all survived? You're all alive? My plan worked. Like, hold on a second.
Whoa. Dude.
You didn't know certain things, right?
Yeah. You took a risk.
How did you know she had to grapple whatever that was going to catch Bob? You didn't know that.
You didn't know that. You took not a calculated risk, like in Deadpool when he says Wolverine. You just took a stupid, like, selfish chance. But anyway. So then they all get up. And then Bob's the last person to be dragged up. And then Walker holds his hand to bring him up, and then Walker starts seeing like one of his terrible memories where he's watching his son. He's just on the phone, looking at his phone. His wife's like, "If you're gonna be your son, look after him." He goes, yeah, I'm here. That's enough, right? Just no. If you're with your son, you need to be like interacting with him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Then,
not beefing on the days that you were Captain America,
yeah,
and then you got whatever, then that happened.
yeah. And then he's like, you don't tell me what. If you think you can do it so well, do it yourself. And then it kind of pans out, and he looks at Bob Weird like, why did that happen? And like he's kind of putting
and then Yelena,
he's one who's kind of putting two and two together for later on, right?
And Yelena's like, because Walker's right on the edge of the ledge, looking like he's gonna take a drop. Yelena's like, you're right.
John,
Walker, what's with that? And he's looking down. He's like, oh yeah.
Like, oh, nothing.
What happened?
Yeah.
You didn't even realize. Like, he's just like, oh damn, I am close.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay. I wouldn't survive that. Even my super soldier villain formula. Yeah. So then they are about to. So they get to the top of the facility, and they're about to go out, and then I don't know if they don't see the like. So Valentina's guards are all outside, right, waiting for him, and I think they're like, okay, if this was us, we would do the same thing, and they kind of like already thought about this going to happen. Like, okay, cool. There's all these people out there. We need to think of a plan.
Yeah.
And while they're thinking of a plan, you see Valentina come, and she's like, okay, well, I don't want you to kill any of them. Not shoot to kill, non-lethal. And we see her head of security hide. It's like, oh, but we've already prepared for like fates for like killing people. Oh, it took so long. It's like, just don't kill them. It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So then,
even though she sent them all to kill each other, but she's got a new plan going on. She's making, this is something else.
She's like I said, she's just going with the flow.
Move on to the next thing, and the next, and eventually we'll get somewhere. It's satisfactory.
Yeah. So she's like, okay. So then they're like, okay, our plan is we will we'll turn off the lights, get them to come in, and then John, you could take out a few. Then we will put back on the lights, and then I'll come and help you. While this is going on, Ghost, you go get a car and meet us somewhere. But before they finish that sentence, Ghost is gone. They're like, oh, great. Cool. So it's just me and you, Walker. And Bob's like, I can. I was like, no, you stay here. We don't know what you can do, so you stay here. He's like, oh, but I can help.
As far as we know, you got no skills.
Yeah.
So you just got to endanger yourself.
Yeah. And then, I can't remember his hero. He says something, and they're kind of like, but you said this. He goes, oh, well, I can't really remember. Because I think he slips up about getting injections and stuff like that. And what the injections do. Because he's like, oh, yeah, I was getting shots, and the next thing I know, I woke up here. And I'm like, okay. And then he slips about, oh, they said to make you a better man. He's like, what you talking about? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, Again, this is... John Walker's taking all things like, okay, this doesn't sound right? And then, so he goes, they start going to plan. Bob and Elaine are looking for the light switch, the power supply to the lights, so they can knock it out and then do all that. So they're doing that, and they start talking, and then Bob slips up with something else again, and she's like, that's, what you're saying is not adding up. And they can't find the switch, and like, Walker's like, okay, we need this. He's waiting in the corridor, waiting for the people, because they're coming in. He's like, okay, I need this to happen. Like, screw this. So he's not fighting all that stuff, like taking them out. Cause
because they're downstairs still doing with the switches and stuff, and all they're hearing is fights, grunting and whatever upstairs, and goes, oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, Walker's gone up there and done whatever he's done, right?
Yeah. So then...
And then when they go up there, they see bodies. Then they're like, where's Walker? And then she's like, oh, sorry. Yeah. Because they start shooting gas canisters at them.
Yeah.
So and then she's got her gas helmet. Yeah. And she starts fighting them all. And then she ties Bob around her.
Yeah.
Gives them a gun.
Yeah.
Point the thing at someone and shoot. And then he starts shooting. And getting some people's legs, and she goes, aim higher.
Yeah, because he shoots the first one with the foot, like, my foot! They're like, yeah, aim higher.
And then I think as she's beating up people, and she's spinning Bob around because they're tied at the waist, he starts spraying bullets, right? And then all of a sudden, a shield starts blocking it, and he Walker's like, stop it, man, guys! I'm here.
It's me. It's like, oh, I thought you have no, I did what you said, but because you've gone, so I had to improvise. Like, okay, sure. And then And then he's like, oh, so where's I think Elena said something about ghosts, and he goes, oh, hopefully she's got the car. He's like, okay. Yeah. So then they're about to go out, and they're like, okay, we can't because there's too many people there. And then they still close or like broken down, like some of the knocked out army guys. So they sneak out and they're carrying Bob, and he's like, why have you dragged me? Like, because you meant to pretend that you're dead. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I heard. Like, oh, okay. So then they're like scared, like, okay, what do we do? We haven't got a van. And then Ava pulls up, it's like, Ghost, sorry, pulls up and goes, get in. It's like, okay, cool. So then they get in and they get to a checkpoint and they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? And then Ghost like, oh, sod this. So she goes invisible so you can't see her. So it's just Walker and Elena in the front of the car. And
with the helmets on.
With the helmets on. He's like, what's your rank? Goes, oh, we got to take this guy to the hospital. He's really hurt. Like, well, medical tanks to the south. Oh no, we got to go to this one. Like, tell me your name. And like, and while it's all going on, Bob's like, you know what? I'm gonna do something because I'm Bob and I have illusions of grandeur and stuff. And he gets out of the van, steals a gun, and starts just shooting up in the air. Ah! And then they're like, what? And the army starts shooting the crap out of him, and the friends, I'm gonna call them that until they get the name in a minute. Like he did this for us, so we need to go. So then they leave, and Bob is just riddled with bullets. And then would have been non-lethal anyway, but still that would
no, they changed it.
Oh,
they
either
changed
way,
it to lethal.
Yeah,
the guy. I think after Bob was shooting stuff in the air, they were like, they hide like, make sure his feet are. He goes down with his feet pointing up.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well,
right, oh yeah. Yeah, so they shoot the crap out of him, and then they drive off. But then Bob gets up, and he's got just like his clothes is full of holes, and you see like his chiseled abs. Like, oh wow, okay, I thought he was any dude. And then he starts floating. And like, wait, what? And then he just flies up in the air, and the Thunderbolts are like, why is there something? No, sorry, the friends. He's like, something flying in. Like, why is something flying? And then Bob gets to a certain point of altitude and just passes out, and then comes flying back down and like puts a crater into the mountain. And they're like, that's weird. And then they escape, the friends, and this is where they're like, Valentina's like, okay, that's weird. Put him in a box, we're taking him back to our new facility. And Mel's like, oh, Washington. Like, no, another place, because Washington's clean. We've got another building. Like, okay. And I think it was here when, was it later on when they say that you basically find out that they were doing something called the Sentry project. They don't know what it is or whatever. We don't know what it is yet. So then the friends are driving in this van, and like, hey, we will get. Actually, no. So Bob hitting the mountain, it caused like an avalanche effect, which made a rock hit their van, and they went tumbling down the mountain. And then they had no car, so they're walking through the desert or whatever. And then they're like, okay, we haven't got that. We got to find something to do or just disappear, because if not, they're gonna find us and we're dead. And then they see in the distance a limo, and Elena's like, oh no, please don't tell me it's him. And then they get close, like, oh no, just hide. And like, what? Just come, just hide. And then you see it get closer, and it says Red Guardian Protection, whatever it is. And then he stops in the middle of nowhere and starts shouting at her name. He's like, hi, Dad. Oh, bless. And then he's giving him a lift back, and he's kind of like, so how do you know what's going on? Like, oh, he tells us some long-winded story about, oh yeah, and all this. And then I was in the car with Valentina, and then she mentioned it, so I drove all the way here to save my daughter. And like, took you long enough. It's like, yeah. And then while this is going on, Ghost and US Agent are sitting in the back. Are just like, okay, this is.
By the way, they never called him US Agent in this film.
They make a hit. They call him it at one point. That's a joke.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, you know when when they're having a fight, they go, just a US Agent. I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I forgot. I might have missed it, but I don't believe they. I was like, I don't think they actually called him US Agent at any point. They did call him knockoff Captain America and stuff like that.
Because I think then I think Bucky calls him it as a joke as well when they meet. Anyway, yeah. So then,
Okay.
so they're driving, and then they notice something in a wind mirror behind, and they're like, "Oh no, it's the army! They're coming to get us."
Oh, by the way, you forgot, and you forgot earlier as also.
What?
She mentioned the team, like the football team she played with as a kid.
Oh yeah.
The Thunderbolts. So I was gonna say, because you were gonna call them the friends again, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna have to mention that at some point.
Yeah, that there, Thunderbolt asterisk. Yeah. So so back.
Not by the way. No, sorry. I was gonna say not by the way. How I thought, like I originally said, that Thunderbolt Russ put the team together, and therefore that would have called the Thunderbolts. No, they just come up with some new origin.
Yeah,
out of nowhere, because it's not even close to the comic book origin either, where they're like, "Oh, this is our name because we're reading the Masters of Evil, and we're just gonna pick a superhero-ish name."
Yeah, which I kind of like the reason for it. Like, okay, that's quite funny. Yeah, so I'll go back. So yeah, they walk in and they talk about their childhood stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, I used to be on a soccer team, and there was sponsored by Shane's Diesel, blah blah blah, and it was called the Thunderbolts, whatever counted Thunderbolts." And there was one girl who pooped herself in the middle of the pitch. That's why it's stuck in her head, like memory. And they're like, okay, that's weird. And then and then they kind of bring it up again when Ava brings it up to Red Guardian, like, yeah, you know, that team or whatever. And I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah. So then the army starts shooting at them, and he's like, oh, don't worry, it's bulletproof. The limo's bulletproof. Like, okay. And then it's not bulletproof. It's kind of like that's not the thing. So then Walker's got his shield for the back window, so no one can shoot it and stuff like that. So like, okay, well, can try not to shoot it. And he's like, hey, pedal to the metal, and then you feel like press his foot down, and it only goes up like by 5 miles per hour. So they're catching up to him, and then he asks Ava to pass him that vodka bottle. What was in there's a vodka bottle in the back of the limo. He's like, "You gonna drink now?" It's like, just pass it to me. So he takes a swig, gets a cigarette lighter, bit of cotton or whatever, put it in, throw a Molotov cocktail at the van behind, and they think, yay, because you see like the windscreen go up in flames. Then it goes straight out, and like, oh, okay, we're kind of screwed. So then Elena comes out. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. She guys are shooting. He's like, know what you're doing. And then as she's about to shoot, one of the vans just blow up, and he's like, okay. I was thinking like things. My mutant abilities have kicked in, something like that. Yeah. And then we see another van blow up. You see one of those like magnetic bombs from Winter Soldier, the film.
Yeah. Throwback.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. Boom. And then we see Bucky on his motorcycle doing his best impression of Terminator 2. Yeah. And so yeah, he does all that, blows up. And it's one cool bit where he gets the somehow, I can't remember how he does this. He gets the tow rope from the front of the truck and grabs it and then wraps it around his arm and then just bangs it down, and then the car just kind of flips up and it's awesome. Yeah. And then he catches up to Thunderbolts. Like, oh, yay! No, they're like, yay! Bucky's come to save us. And then he shoots one of the bombs at their limo, which blows up and it was flying over. Boom. And then he basically arrests them and says, and takes them back to like somewhere. It's like, yeah, so you guys are basically what I need to get this woman impeached and arrested. And like, oh, okay, so what? And I'm trying to remember what else happened after this. There's something happened before
like, pick up. Yeah. But at this point, he said pick up is going to be 6 hours. So you guys all stay here, nice and quiet, all tied up and whatever, right? Yeah. And then I'm like, John Walker's tied up with some sort of metal bar and some ropes and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, but isn't he strong enough to break out of that?
I don't. Maybe he's not. Maybe that's why Bucky did it. Because basically.
To be fair, he's got one vibranium arm that can probably bend a bit more than than what John Walker. Anyways, but you were saying what happened in between this is Valentina works out who Bob is, right?
Yeah.
From Project Sentry, yeah.
Yeah.
And Mel's like, "Do you know what Project Sentry is?" And she's like, "No, I know it's gonna be a benefit to me."
Yeah. You're like, okay. And then
she get the S-Crest buckle belt thing, right? the championship belt almost.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, she goes to speak to Bob, be like, yeah, Bob, you know what? Yeah. I mean, they will call you Bob, right?
Yeah.
But you're special to me, and I'll treat you as my equal.
Yeah.
I'm Robert.
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay.
Right.
I see what she's doing here. Because she obviously, we'll find out when you say this, but I'll tell you why she does that as well. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, look, yo, so you're special, right? You've got special abilities, and what we can do together are great things.
Yeah. And she kind of calls him a god.
And then, yeah, she got like with the power of 100 million exploding suns and stuff like that. So, you know, we you need me and I need you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah. But then she's like, I think what she tries to do, she tries to get close to Bob to not to whisper sweet nothings, but to be like that more intimate sort of manipulation. But then she gets transferred into the
nightmare realm sort of thing. Yeah,
back into a memory of some time. Yeah. And you see her when she's in her teen, 10 years old, something like that. Yeah. She said to she's like, oh, sorry, Dad, sorry, I didn't mean to tell him where you were. He said he was your friend. He said he just wanted to come and see you.
Yeah.
And so Dad's like, oh no, sorry, Valentine. Well, I mean, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But there's not good people out there.
Yeah.
And then, but you stay here quiet and nothing, and if you pretend you're not here, nothing will happen. Yeah. Right. So then he goes and opens the door. He closes the door where she is, and it hits the side and opens slightly so she can see through it. Right.
Yeah.
He opens the door, and his loan shark or whatever,
something.
The person who decided he was going to double cross. I don't know exactly because you don't need it. First of all, you don't know the backstory, but second, you don't need it. You see sometimes basically guys saying, "You thought you could pull a fast one on me, yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, this ain't how we roll.
Yeah.
Blam, blam, blam.
Yeah.
And then
shoot.
Then she gets back then she's back in the real world.
Yeah, and she's like, oh wait, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I mean, think about what I said.
Yeah.
And then she goes to take the S crest buckle belt thing with her.
And then he's like, no, keep it. And he's like, no, leave it. And like, okay. And then she comes out and talks to Mel. Mel's like, you trust someone like that? Because, well, I've read his file that, he's a former meth addict and he has illusions of grandeur. So I'm going to play into...
And he's got some personality disorder of some sort.
So I'm going to sort of... And that's why you're like, oh, that's why she's trying to build a relationship like that. So he feels safe with her. Yeah, I was like, oh, manipulation.
Yeah. Okay. And she's like, well, you know what? The thing is as well, there's a safeguard.
Yeah.
When they were doing the trials, surely because they're not stupid like that, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to put someone like that with super abilities, whatever, without having a safeguard. So you find out a safeguard, and then we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And you know what? Who knows? This mental capabilities might make it easier for us to get him on our side.
Yeah. You're like,
no, she doesn't use the word manipulate.
No, because you can't use those sort of words. So then you're like, oh, okay. And then we go back to the Thunderbolts, they're called now. And so Red Guardian's trying to convince, like, no, we all need to stay together and, stop, what's her name? Because, I can't remember what the key thing is for Bucky to be like, oh, yeah, no, so they're...
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so they're like, no, she's like, no, Bucky's like, no, we're going to get arrested, you're going to testify against or whatever. And then they see on the news, that was it, wasn't it? Where she's
No, Mel calls him.
Yeah, Mel calls him saying, we need to stop this because she's got this guy who's basically like a god. Well, I'm paraphrasing what she said.
No, they're talking about, right, just before the school, they're talking about this guy, Bob, who's got superpowers.
Yeah.
Valentina has it. We need to save him. He's got mental issues. And
I missed that.
Like,
I missed that a bit. I missed that a bit. Where Walker says, he kind of clocked that he's something about him, and then that's when Lane says, she throws out the pictures in it of Project Sentry and all that, and like, oh, and then that's when Bucky's like, oh, so you guys are not just talking at your ass about dude with special powers and stuff. Yeah,
Mel here on my phone is telling me.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so
because it does sound, by the way, it did sound, and credit to the people who wrote the dialogue and the people that acted it, because it did sound like they were just making a crap out on the spot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like, okay. So then Red Guy, so he's like, okay, I'll let you go. And Red Guy's like, yeah, we all could do this together, you know, be great and the stuff. I know, like, okay. And then I think at first it was only like Red Guardian was on board, and then he kind of somehow talked them all into it because he was like, okay, I guess I'm sort of stuck in this now. And John Walker was do it because he needs to like get his reputation back. Because I think Bucky even said to him something about you've got a family to go back to, and he's kind of like, no, he lets it slip that his wife left him.
Yeah.
And they were like, we thought you was the only like normal one here. Yeah, and then also I think I missed out bits where they all kind of like trauma dumping, where they'll talk about like the bad things in their life. Yeah, where something
was that when they were in the facility, or
I think it was a facility and coming out of it when they're walking to where they're like, you know, I've got a solid form and I need to be able to suit to live and then to live, and Elena's like, you know, I grew up in the red room, and John Walker's like, I'm fine. Like, no, you're not.
I killed someone on live TV, but no, he don't say that. Someone else says that to him.
Yeah.
How can you say you're fine?
Yeah, when you. So then Bucky lets me go like, okay, cool. We need to go somewhere. And also, I forgot to say, when we find out that Valentina's new base is the old Avenger Tower. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which makes sense later on. But yeah, and then so they head to New York. Right, and okay, cool. We're gonna break into the building and make our way up to the third floor and fight Valentina. Blah blah. So then they crash into the office and start fighting the guards and stuff. And she's like, "Hey! I was waiting for you guys to come. Just go in the elevator." And I'm like, "Oh." And then they'll realize, "Oh, we just like beat up all these people for no reason." And Bucky's like, and they headbutt the guy, and then and then they take the elevator up and they walk in. It's like, oh, so many awesome battles must have happened here, right in this spot here. And I just thought of when Hulk beat the crap out of Loki. That's what came to mind straight away. He's like, yeah, so, but we don't need them anymore because I've got my own Avenger, a guy who's got the power of a god, blah, blah, blah. And then you see feet come down the stairs, and Bucky's like, no, you're getting arrested. We're not doing this. And then he comes down, and it's Bob in this yellow, gorgeous costume with the big ass, and he's dyed his hair blonde, and like
blue cape, and and now blonde hair. Yes, that's correct.
And then
Yelena's like, wait, oh no, one of the girls is
like, Ava. Like, did you dye your hair blonde? Yeah. He's like, yeah, but she said it'd be fine. Like, yeah, the optics work. Valentina's like, yeah, no, we tested the optics work. I was like, okay. And then they're like, oh, I don't think you should do this, Bob. I was like, why not? You know, I always thought I'd be something, and she's giving me the power to be something. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I can't remember how the fight starts.
Well, Red Guardian's like, F this.
Yeah.
Just charges at the guy, right? And then he gets made a mockery of, and then everyone else tries to. Yelena is the only one that's not necessarily holding back, but she's trying to scout the
because she's the
best way of attack or what's going on. She's sitting back going.
Because at first she's like, don't fight him. She's trying to get him to stop fighting. It gets to a point it's like, okay, I need to like maybe intervene, and she gets taken mockery of. There's one bit though when I thought Red Guardian was gonna die, because you know he throws him out the window and then pulls him back in. Like, oh, okay, cool, all right.
I thought he was just gonna literally throw him out the window and drop him, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, oh, because because the beginning I thought, oh, then anyone's expendable, isn't it? But no, so okay,
cool. So he takes them all, you dash him to the side, and then Bucky's like, all right, what I'm gonna do? Take off my leather jacket so I can show my metal arm and my other bicep, right? Yeah. Just walk up to the guy, just wear like pump, bam, right, with the metal arm as well. Yeah, and Sentry just no-selling it all.
Yep, he literally
just grabs Bucky's arm.
Yeah,
starts bending it, right? Starts melting it slightly, takes it off, beats him up with his own arm.
Yeah,
and throws him to the side with the rest of him and his arm. And then Valentina's like, kill them while they're scrambling to the elevator.
Yeah.
Oh no! So I forgot a bit where Walker comes with his shield and tries to punch Bob, and Bob's like, nah, and he just bends the shield. So it's like like it looks like a taco.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I was like, ooh, good. Yeah.
And they all just go to the elevator, and then Valentina's like, yeah, just kill them because I don't even know why they think of trying to escape you, by the way.
Yeah.
And Bob's like, no, I don't have to actually kill them.
Yeah.
Because they can't hurt me.
Yeah, why would I waste my time? Yeah. And like,
yeah.
What?
And then Valentina's like, Bob, how can you... All right, Bob, you have to listen to me. You understand, right? And Bob's like, no, I don't actually have to listen to you because you said that I'm more powerful than all the Avengers.
Yeah.
And the Avengers had a god on their team.
Yeah.
And this god, if he's a god, why was he listening to a human?
Yeah.
Like you are to me.
Yeah. She's like,
so you are insignificant, and I'm so far above you.
Yeah, and this video like
he is then like
you see on her face was like, I've made a huge mistake. I mean, sort of thing like, ugh. And then he backs over to the wall, and he's like, okay, he's like saying something. Basically, like, okay, maybe you'll be my first victim. And I thought, oh, okay, she's gonna explode or something. And then, and then you see the back of her hand, and she's got the kill switch. And then she goes to press it, but he knocks out of her hand, like, no, nah, it's not gonna happen that way. And then it looks like he's gonna kill her. And then Mel comes in and puts the kill switch, and you see his eyes go all red, and he drops to the ground. Like, oh, okay,
yeah,
that was interesting. Yeah, so he's like, okay, he's dead, so we need to get out of here, get the guys to go and take his body, and we can scrap it for parts and start this over again. And so they're at the bottom of the building, and like, okay, they get a call from the team, like, there's no body here. And like, what? And then you see
well, no, you're skipping the bit where the Thunderbolts, right? They get out and they start saying, all right,
this, yeah.
yeah. Look, he battered us, and we're a bunch of punks.
Yeah.
And we aren't even a team. We don't even like each other. So, you know, best way of us not getting killed by him is just to go about our business.
Yeah.
You see you all later.
Yeah. So then the only person here was like, no, we got a good fight. Going again, the Red Guardians like, no, we got to stay and fight together, you know, do all this. Then Ilana's like, no, we're all losers. Like, I don't know why I've been bothered. I hate basically saying that she hates her life and that stuff. And then Red Guardian gets upset, obviously, and then she walks off, so he runs after her. Then they start talking, and it's like, you know what? You're basically the best person I know. You're the light of my... Basically being a really good dad. Like, you're the light of my life, and without you, none of us would be here. And it kind of like changes her around. Like, okay, you know what? Because they talk about like, well, that's it. She's like, I've missed you. My sister died, and I haven't seen you for a year, and all I wanted was my dad to be there. And he's like, I know, but I'm still trying to do this as well, like be a dad. And then they have their moment, and then that's when it flashes back to Valentina and that.
But by the way, which is also kind of hilariously funny, but not purposely, is that while this is all going on, people in costumes shouting at each other. And the rest of you just walking by them. Like, no selling it. They're like, oh yeah, we see this all the time. It's just, none of this are rubbernecking or nothing like that. Just no.
There's one clear shot I thought was hilarious when Red Guardian's there, and one was walking past him, looks at him like in disgust, like, and just carries on walking. It's like,
yeah. Oh, they're like that's some more of those random reactions.
Yeah, but at this point, they've been.
Or someone with their kid walking by, and they just grab the kid and start walking past their way.
Like, oh. But it's funny because when you think about it, heroes have been in this world for like 15 years at this point, right? So it's like, and it's New York, it's an everyday thing for them. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, great. Yeah, so then, and then, does this when the Void starts taking over?
Well, this is where they start pointing up at something, right? Because me and you were watching the crowd as well, just like out, just to see their reactions. But you can see at a certain point where Guardian's talking to Elaine and the camera goes like on her, but you can see the people behind where they start not walking.
Yeah,
they stop walking and they start pointing upwards. Something, right?
Yeah,
and then Red Guardian's looking at them.
Yeah,
like because the shot comes back to him and he's looking at them, looking at something, and they kind of just walk around the construction area they were at, like it was a bridge, so they couldn't quite see. Yeah, so they walk over to see what everyone else is looking at, and you just see this black dot in the sky.
Yeah, because then this is where the Sentry, when he quote unquote got kill switch, this is when the entity took over him, and I was trying to wonder, were they gonna go this way? I was like, okay, quite glad they went. Okay, they didn't take away a big part of the character.
So Hyde from before, who loved his lethal force, is like,
yeah.
Well, it's time to lethal force this black sheep, right?
Yeah.
Nah, he gets just. I want to say he gets dusted, but he doesn't really get dusted.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought
shadow welded.
Yeah, because I thought he like eviscerated him. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, no. And yeah, then he just starts eviscerating loads of things. You're like, ooh, this is.
Yeah, but like it just basically turns them into shadow entities or something like that. It just kind of shadow shapes into the ground.
Yeah, but you don't notice that at first, not till later on, innit?
Yeah.
And then so that he does a few in the helicopters. So the helicopters start crashing, knocking down buildings and stuff. Yeah. And then this is where all the Thunderbolts sort of come back to like save the
one by one. They help team to save. I think Red Guardian saves a little. No, that's towards the end of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just start saving people, civilians.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
And and then they also like debris is falling, so then you get like ghosts phasing through some of the bits and pieces to rescue someone.
Yeah.
You get to Bucky kind of destroying the whatever it is. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you get Red Guardian putting something and making a kind of a guard out of it, like a shield.
And then him and Ileana do sort of like a forceful special as well. Yeah,
to stop a truck.
Yeah.
No, to rescue a lady.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to jump into the truck.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Cool.
And then some big debris starts falling. It's a massive girder thing, right?
Yeah.
And John Walker's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and try and stop this thing myself.
Yeah.
And then everyone else comes in there to help him hold it. Like the person that was gonna get crushed does get away.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the Thunderbolts go in there to help John Walker push the thing over.
Yeah. Which by
the way, I was like, but did they ever check the other side of it?
Yeah, I'm thinking, I was like, what if someone's behind that? You just murder someone.
Anyways, they push that thing over, the big metal block.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh my god!
Yeah.
They go to save a little girl. Red Guardian goes to save a little girl, right? Little girl gets saved. And then Red Guardian is saying to her, yeah, high five or something like that. And then all of a sudden, boom! She's got turned into a shadow.
She got
thingamajig.
Yeah. This is when I was like, okay, it's not what I thought it was. Yeah, I was like, okay, you didn't just incinerate people because they wouldn't do that to a kid in a Marvel film. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think they were incinerated. I thought they were, because it does look like what happened is they turn into the burnt black dust, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, maybe they get turned like warped into like just.
Thought it'd be something.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Right? The best way I can put it, right?
Yeah.
Right, and I thought, oh, maybe they're not coming back. Like, you get gone and you don't come back.
Yeah.
Right, except that it turns out, well, maybe it's not that simple.
Yeah. And then, so they're like, okay, everyone in New York, get inside. Don't go anywhere. You're safe inside. So then they all get everyone to some building, and then they're trying to figure out what to do.
As the shadows are creeping over everywhere, right?
Yeah, because you start seeing basically all of New York go out. Yeah.
And then the Thunderbolts are like, what we got to do, because he beat us into submission before and we couldn't do jack.
Yeah, so what makes you
and then Elena's like, but she's not with them. She starts walking towards she's
still with them.
Lights coming towards.
Because I think this is when John Walker says the thing about he thinks that he's got something to do with the nightmare stuff, in it. He goes, yeah.
Oh no, I think she goes in, disappears, and then Red Guardian says to her, where is she?
Yeah.
And then I think that's when he
that's when yeah. So then she goes, because she just goes in and thinks, okay, this must be something. So she goes in, and then Red Guardian's like, no, and he's upset because he thinks his daughter's dead, right? And then this is when John Walker's like, he thinks it's something Bob, it's something to do, some world that Bob builds or something like that in it's full of dark stuff, and maybe we can manipulate that or something like that, but we don't. That's a bit later on. But anyway, so Elena wakes up in that forest again, where she gets that kid killed, and she tries to intervene and stuff like that, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And then How does she get out?
She finally breaks through, but into another room.
Yeah.
I think she runs towards the trees. She tries it the first time, and then like you say, she intervenes the second time, and then nothing. Then then the memory restarts again. So no matter what she does,
Yeah.
but then I think she just runs towards the trees and breaks through.
No, it's what happens was she kind of is okay with what happens. Then it kind of comes something where she realizes she can break through it, and then she breaks through, and then she finds herself drinking, passed out in a.
No. She finds herself with all the other little Black Widows.
Oh yeah,
the first one to put the gun together, right?
Yeah.
And then she gets to stand. Whoever puts the gun together first gets to stand to the side, right?
Yeah.
And then everyone else has to
whip.
put out their hands.
Yeah.
And then the whip come out, and then I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, and that's when she looks in the mirror and she sees Bob. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then it goes away, and then. Then she breaks through the mirror, and then that's when we see her passed out in a bathtub from the years of drinking. Wow, between Hawkeye and Endgame, whatever it was, when she gets back from the blip, where she's crying, and then she looks in the mirror again, and she sees Bob. And is like, wait, what? And then he says something. I can't remember what he says.
Yeah,
because hi, and she's like, okay. So then,
but she picks herself up, and then her past self fights her current self, and then forces drink in her mouth, and then as she's spinning around,
and
hits the floor.
Yeah,
there she is, passed out again. So it's like the memory's going to restart. But like you said, then she's like, Bob, where are you? Because I'm here. I'm coming here to save you. Yeah. Well, not necessarily to save you, but you're not alone, Bob. I'm here with you, man.
Yeah.
And eventually, she basically walks through the mirror.
Yeah.
Because she thinks she maybe end up in another memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she walks through the mirror and she sees and it's into Bob's attic, and Bob's like, "Oh yeah, hi. I'm in the safe area. The only one that's because I'm not really liking the other rooms." And she goes, "Oh yeah, because they're all like shame rooms, aren't they? Really?"
Yeah,
and he's like, this is the safest one there is. And then, and he's not even that safe. Look, because then there's a crack in the floor where the young version of him is getting negged on by his dad, right?
Yeah.
And his mum's getting abused.
Yeah,
right?
And then he stands up for his mum.
Yeah.
And then his mum blames him for standing up. Yeah.
Because you make it worse. You always make it worse. I was like, oh, yeah, that's the abuser mindset, right?
Yeah, wow.
Once you're done, you're done.
Yeah. He had no chance.
So I was like, wonder why he ended up the way he ended up, right? And through the entire movie, I was like, this dude is suffering from depression, and the void is the metaphor for the depression. Right?
Yeah. And then, and then the room starts attacking back. Yeah. And then this is when the Thunderbolts Asterix come in, basically help fight off the room, and then someone asks him.
No, you've got to put a random joke. Like furniture's flying at them. They're knocking the furniture to the side or tearing it apart, or whatever. Right? Yeah. Red Guardian. Then it goes to him, and he's grabbed the pillow, tore it in half. Goes, oh yes, and he stomps on it. Goes, yeah, I took you down, you nightmare pillow.
Yeah, and like, oh,
I'm like, what? What?
It's like, oh, funny guy, because I like that bit. And then I think this is when Ava or someone goes, "Hey, we need to go to the worst room." Because take us. Yeah, take us, because they found that the room. Okay, we need to go to the worst one. Like, okay, so then they go through all the different rooms, and then there's of different bits of his nightmares, and then there's one where he's dressed up in a chicken suit, and he's got one of the signs you fling around saying this way, and he starts beating them all up, and they're like, "What is this?" He goes, "Sorry, I was on meth." You're like, "Oh, that was your meth days." Yeah. So then they get passed out of that, and then they make it to the lab in the beginning of the film where Elon's like, "This looks familiar," and then this is where we find out this is where Bob got the injection for the Project Sentinel, and you see the Void version of him sitting on the examination bed, whatever. Yeah. then he's all saying like none of this is everything. Basically, he's saying all the most emo, depressing stuff like everything is nothing matters. You're all losers.
You're all alone. They don't care about you.
Yeah,
they only care about themselves because once they get out, they're gonna leave you. Once everyone left you, you're trash. You're nothing but. And I'm like, wow, it's the other side.
Yeah, like toxic. Wow. I can see again why you had no chance and why you suffer from what you suffer from. Wow. Yeah. So then. And then they realize, okay, Bob, you're the only person who can beat yourself. That sounded really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, not that way. Not that way.
But you're the only one who can do it. So then he starts fighting it, and he's like winning, and then they clock like this is what he wants because you start seeing like the void going up to Bob. Like, he's turned into the void basically. Then they will try to save him, but then the void throws them all against walls and pins them there, and they're like, okay, we need to. Basically, like none of you getting out of here, and then the world's gonna become darkness, and then you see more of New York. At this point, New York's still fully darkness, and you see kind of spreading through the sea, stuff like that. And then Ileana, with the help of Red Guard, kind of gets out. He uses his strength to kind of open the barrier where there has them stuck, and then she gets out, and then she does all her gymnastic. Awesome stuff to get over parkour stuff to get over the things being thrown at her, and then she gets to Bob and is like, "You're not alone because I'm here with you." So she's like hugging him, and then you see bits of the void leaving Bob, but then the voids throw more stuff at him, and then all the others get free, and they all like come and hug like, "No, we're all here with you," and then power friendship kind of puts the void to rest for now. So then. They all wake up they wake back up on the streets of New York, and all the darkness is gone, and everyone's back together, and they're like, "Oh, I guess we did it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess we did." And then Bob's like, "Yeah, cool, we did it." Like, so what do we do? Because he doesn't remember any of this. Yeah, and you're like, "Oh," and then they see Valentina Fontaine buy some like curtains and stuff, and they're like. We're gonna get
the blue tarpaulin.
Yeah, blue tarpaulin, and then Red Gun's like, I'm gonna kill her. Like, we can't kill her. We need to arrest her. Like, okay, but what if I accidentally hurt her when we're taking her back and she dies? Like, no, we need to take her in. Like, okay, so like, she seems like, oh no, give me a second, no, and then they like run up to her, and then they go through the curtain, and this was the best part of the film. Like, because I kind of thought, how are they gonna get around this? Not get around it, but what's gonna happen? Because I didn't really get it. She's like, so. My team, we helped stop the crisis of whatever, and these are the new Avengers. And like,
yeah, because once they go through the doors, and they turn the curtain, turn around. Is there like a press conference which she was calling about earlier because she wanted to show off Sentry? Yeah, but now she redirected it, and I was like, this sneaky.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I was like. She lucks into everything, like out of just like. Chance, it's like the new Avengers.
My team that saved New York from this void-like entity. Yeah, we call them the new Avengers. Yes,
yeah, and they're like, oh, and they realize that they can't do anything, and they're like, all right, and then that's when Elon walks up and goes, "We own you now," and she's like, "I know, yeah." And then they kind of like say, "Yep, we're the new Avengers," and I was like, "That's why there's an asterisk."
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a placeholder name.
We did kind of think there was going to be the Dark Avengers before, but okay. Well, I thought there would be because they all had like the inverted Avengers, so I thought the Dark Avengers. Yeah, but how they would get to that title would be a bit odd. However, now that they're the new Avengers, and this is the way to do it. Yeah. I was like, even though we get to the end credits, right? Yeah. So we get the mid credits where Red Guardian shaved his beard and he's trying to promote his own cereal to some random chick, but he's in civilian garb, so she's like, what? I'll just and he's like, that's me, and she's like, he's trying to say
it's me without saying it's him, like you know, wink, look, and she's like, okay.
She takes the cereal, starts around the corner, and she just puts it to the side and walks off.
I was like,
all right, okay,
that's funny. And then also we've got to say like part of the credit bit, they're showing like them as the new Avengers doing stuff, and so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Okay. But so we get to end credits. There you go.
Yeah. And not end credits, by the way. We get. I'm looking at the actual credits, and then I see one of the song credits is the Fantastic Four First Steps theme by whoever. And
Yeah,
I'm like, wait a minute.
I didn't even look at that.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so that just means that at the end, there is going to be a Fantastic Four something. Because why would you credit someone in this movie that hasn't got their thing in it? And we haven't seen it at the moment. So we get to the end credits.
Yeah.
Where the new Avengers are beefing, not with each other, right?
No.
With the press, and they're like, yeah, they're calling us the
we've got to say,
but we're the actual Avengers.
We've got to say, it says like what I think it says like 1 year later.
Yeah. 14 months.
That's it. 14 months, so a year and 2 months. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they're like to Bucky, speak with Sam Wilson, man, because he's
you guys are friends.
He's fighting the trademark for the Avengers, and
yeah.
we are the Avengers.
Yeah, you guys are friends, right?
So they can't tell us we're not. We can't use that, because we've got all the A's and stuff, our logos now. And then Red Guardian's like, oh, you know what? We can be the new Avengers with a Z, because that's trademark free.
Yeah,
they're like,
no,
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
and then John Walker's still got his shield that's curved, and I'm like, 14 months.
Did he have? I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that.
No, he's still.
Because I know he had a beret. He had a beret on instead of the helmet. Because I remember in the van when they're making jokes, he goes, "I think the helmet's cool." And I'm like, okay, yes.
Yeah, they call it a hat.
Yeah,
they call it a hat.
Yeah,
but I think the helmet does actually look better than the beret, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And Bucky had longer hair. He looked a bit weird.
Yeah.
And didn't Elena have like ginger hair?
Can't remember.
It wasn't blonde. Yeah, it wasn't blonde, but anyway, yeah.
And then they say to Bob, we're more powerful than the power of a million exploding suns, right, Bob? You can help us. We can solidify the power that we have, right? Because they're making fun of us,
Yeah.
And Bob's like, yeah, but I can't do. I'm going to sit here sipping my pina colada.
Yeah.
In the deck chair because if I do anything. The void comes out.
Yeah, he comes out and like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. And then they're like, something's breaking through the atmosphere.
I know, because you missed a bit as well when they're like, and there's stuff going up in space, and they're like, we got enough space here. It's like, no, that kind of space. Like, oh, okay, yep, I get you. Yeah, that's quite.
And then they're like, we put it on screen and get a close up, and then we can see what this thing that's come through the atmosphere is. See a white spaceship, and then it tilts slightly, so you can see the four on it, and then
the new Avengers and Bob will return.
Then the actual, the Marvel logo, and that's it. Finished and dusted.
Yeah, I was like, oh, so this feeds into whatever happens at the end of Fan 4.
Yeah,
First Steps, and then to whatever Doomsday.
Yeah. So what we can gauge from that is that at some point at the end of the Fantastic Four movie, or sometime during, if you want to say, right, but probably at the very end, they warp into
the
616 movie universe, which is not the actual 616 universe.
No. But I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, because then it kind of makes sense about the Fantastic Four where it's set in whatever it's set in the actual movie.
60s,
yeah. Like, okay, that makes sense. Cool. And I was like, well, happy. Yeah, man.
Do you think Doctor Doom will make an appearance in Fantastic Four First Steps?
Maybe at the end.
And when I say appearance, I mean like end credits, or he's the person that warps them over, or whatever, something like that.
Probably
I don't expect him, if he's in it, not to get a big part.
Nah.
And probably not Robert Downey Jr., but you see the armor. Yeah. Just because they don't want to pay him $10 million to make a 10-second appearance.
Yeah. It's like a million a second. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it might just be an appearance, like the armor or something, or a mention of Doom. Or like you see Doom's seat and it has the Doom whatever. Something. It'll be something like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But yeah, man. Yeah. Good film, man. I enjoyed it. It was different as well. Yep.
But that was cool. That's what was cool about it. It didn't need to have an end fight. No. The only way they could have had an end fight was that if Sentry and Void kind of split in two, and therefore they're not as powerful either.
Yeah.
And because they're freshly split in two, get depowered to the point where then the other people can do stuff. But then you're like,
no, it's too soon to do that. If there was you know what I mean? Like you kind of got built to Sentry versus the Void. Yeah.
And like without the power of friendship, how are you going to deal with like you can't physically fight it?
No,
So
yeah, you can't fight like evil, like you can't fight negative thoughts. You know what I mean? Like physically, you can't. You know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I totally tell everyone to watch this because it's got my favorite Marvel character, Winter Soldier, in it, or Revolution it's called now. I didn't know it the other day. Winter Soldier's not called Winter Soldier anymore.
What in the comics?
Yeah, it's not called Winter Soldier anymore. It's called Revolution.
What's it called?
Revolution.
I don't know. I mean, they try to make him call. They try to call him White Wolf in Black Panther. That didn't work out.
Yeah, I'm so glad it didn't work out. But yeah, because I was watching something the other day and I was like, yeah, you know, Winter Soldier, blah, blah, blah. It's like he's now Revolution. Like, what?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so,
Yeah,
mate.
like he'll always be Winter Soldier to me because Revolution.
If anything, if he's not Winter Soldier and he's just Bucky Barnes, that is it.
Yeah. Like, and then I like how they've kind of, because you know he was Captain America for a cup of coffee in the MCU, right? Not MCU in the comics. In the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And then technically now he is in the New Avengers. He is a Captain America equivalent of a US agent.
Yeah.
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 Oh, US agent. I love that guy, man. I like John Walker. I like he's movie version.
We just forgot to mention as well when it's at the beginning of the movie. I think it's like a little side joke where Bucky's in the kitchen, he's trying to make some food, and then he spills a packet of stuff all over his shirt.
Yeah.
And his cybernetic arm, and then next thing you know, he's got the dishwasher on. And it's finished. Then he pulls it out.
That was funny. It's like, oh.
Yeah, and his arm's inside it.
Oh.
I'm like, all right, okay.
I was like, you put like a gadget that's probably worth more than anything in your whole apartment, and you just throw it in the dishwasher. Makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool. Oh, but yeah, it was a good film, a really good film.
Yeah, enjoyed it. It was yeah. I mean, and this was one of those things where you're like, anyone could die because they're all characters that you weren't even expect to see again. So what makes you think you're going to see more of them?
Yeah, but they survived somehow, and I'm alright with that. Yeah,
and I do wonder who's on the actual Avengers team.
Yeah,
at this point,
I reckon they might sort of explain that in Doomsday.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon. I probably like. Because I reckon it's.
Oh, and you know who? By the way, did you know? I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Okay.
But did you see some of the people that spoiler shots and
yeah,
some of your boys are in Doomsday?
I saw the chair reveal where it had all the names. I seen that.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, I was saying some actual shots. Yeah.
Because that means
you saw names, yeah. I saw some actual pictures. And,
okay, yeah.
People, man, we don't need to.
No.
But whatever.
Yeah,
your boys are in it. Your boys. I think they're speculating the first scene takes place where your boys are getting done.
My boys.
Yeah, boys. Okay, your boys are gonna get done, and then that's it. The rest that's speculation. Who knows? Because they haven't. You know what order of the film is going to be.
Yeah,
you know?
that's all right.
Yeah.
Because I think. Cause I'm not gonna look into that anymore. Cause I don't want to forget. Like.
No.
Yeah, but I think the new Avengers, like the Avengers, not new Avengers, is gonna be Sam Wilson, the new Falcon, and I think Shang-Chi might be one of them. You know.
Yeah, they were talking. They said at the end of the Shang-Chi film, remember they say, "Oh, the the Avengers need you."
Yeah, so I think, he will be one of them, and then I don't
know. War Machine.
Yeah, wait, was he announced on the thing?
No. But like, if you as far as being in the Avengers group, Captain Marvel likely as well.
Yeah, it's likely. Yeah.
So I'm just talking about the people that should be on the Avengers team. On Sam Wilson's Avengers team, right?
Yeah. But I think you're right. I think,
Doctor Strange.
I'm only trying to think about the ones who actually... I reckon they're all on the team, but the ones actually will be in Doomsday because from that
Oh, okay. You reckon some of these people won't be in Doomsday?
I think they won't be in Doomsday, but they'll probably be in the one
Secret
after.
War?
Yeah. Kind of like we did with like Endgame, where a lot of people went in it, but Neil was in the other one. Yeah. So, we'll see. what's his name? Mubaka. He might be Avenger.
Baku.
Yeah, Baku. Yeah, I think he might be an Avenger.
Yeah.
And then you got
Namor.
I don't know, because how they kind of left him in Thingamajig, Black Panther 2. He wasn't good guy, he wasn't bad guy, so I don't know how you. And they knew that he.
Yeah, but then Noah's Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah, but that's different. He didn't. Roman Reigns didn't, like flood the country.
That's ages ago, by the way. That's not even the OTC gimmick, by the way.
Yeah, but yeah, that's not like I'm not the yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because of what he did, I don't think he would be, because everyone knows he flooded Wakanda, so I don't know if he would be an Avenger. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested in this very, very, very much. Yeah. But yeah, cool.
All right. Yeah, so we're saying
Ant-Man would be one as well. Ant-Man would be an Avenger if he's in it.
So you're saying you're gonna say, would you say this film is better than Captain America: Brave New World?
Yeah. I like Brave New World, but I'll say
the thing is, I'm not hating on Brave New World when I say that. It's just
I know you mean.
This seemed like this seemed more consistently filmed.
Yes.
Than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'll probably say as well.
Yeah, and it's like Brave New World had bits and pieces. Funny enough, it did have the overpowered antagonist. Well, the Red Hulk versus an underpowered hero.
Yeah.
And they did it. I don't want to say this. They did have a scuffle, right? And they did it a different way. They finished the fight a different way as well. Where like, we don't actually need to fight, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is kind of similar to here as well, but it was also executed differently as well.
Yeah.
Because in this movie, you see the logic was going to be you guys, as far as me, because we know about the comics, right?
Yeah.
They're never going to be able to fist fight the Void.
No, you can't fist fight an entity. Yeah. You can't fist fight an emotion. Yeah, basically. Yeah. See, that's why I kind of
go on.
No, go on.
I was gonna say it's more like how's the rest of the story conclude?
Yeah.
What do you do? That's what's the more intriguing bit about this. Like you bunch of people that don't even work together properly.
Yeah.
Have to team up to fight a thing that you can't even fight physically. So
yeah. So good luck with that. Yeah. That's why I kind of like. I'll say that's why I've liked Thunderbolts and Captain America: Brave New World, because it both ended without like a fight. It both ended with like more like moral. Like Sam knew he couldn't be.
It's one of these things where logically speaking.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, not everything's going to be able to end with a fist fight, right?
Yeah.
But it's more. It's like how do you go about things that you can't fight as well?
Yeah.
For example, if it was the anti-life equation, right?
Yeah, you can't punch an equation. Yeah.
Well, unless they're going to do it in the movie where if you knock out Darkseid, then you destroy the anti-life equation. But that might not necessarily be that.
No. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I like. But it's like both people both films, the protagonists were out of their realm, so they used logic and whatever appealing to someone's side to win, and I like that. Yeah. Rather than smash. Your suit can't go over this certain temperature. Sort of, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. I did like the scuffle they had with Sentry, and they're like, these guys are turned into a bunch of as good as they are individually on those specific when they find humans, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
Or slightly powered people, yeah. But when you're fighting literally
get the knife to his face and he's like, paper cut? Not even. What are you talking about?
No. And then just starts...
That flea?
Yeah. It was good, man. Good. But
and I did like that, even though they were like, we can't fight him.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try to fight him.
Yeah.
And then we realized actually what he's capable of. And then like as Valentina said, Bob could have just wiped them all out then and there, but then we won't have the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
If Valentina's plan went right, like we said, 5 minutes in the movie it'd be done. Right?
Done, yeah.
If Valentina's other plan went right, then the rest of the movie will happen, and you all could be all in the void, and
So yeah, man, good. recommend people watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's different but the same, you know.
Yeah.
It's different to the more happy-go-lucky stuff. There is comedic elements, but this is a bit of a, I wouldn't say necessarily a dark film because it's kind of it has color to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's not exactly a bright film.
No.
In that sense either.
No. Like the subject matter is quite
mental health, man. Mental health.
So that's quite a cool. It kind of tackles.
But it's not like, for example, and I haven't seen the Joker.
Yeah.
Right. But that seems to be like something not necessarily glorifying mental health or something like that. I mean, that's more like, it's spotlight. I don't know. It's an awkward one for the Joker, right? Where this is like, this guy is suffering from something, right? I want to say depression because it's the metaphor for the void of how black it is and how like endless and whatever, right? Yeah. But it's like, no, you come through at the other end. It's not as ham-fisted or something like that. It's there, but it's kind of obvious what it's a metaphor for, but it's not like, No,
I'll say that, yes.
Yeah. But you didn't watch the Joker 2 either, right?
No. I heard it was. I went to see it, and then I just heard bad. Normally, I don't listen to when people say bad thing in film, but I don't know. It's just like I can't be bothered to see.
I think it's like one of those things where I think they're saying some. I think it's Tarantino that said it. Yeah, but you see, this movie is amazing in a metaphorical sense. See, Todd Phillips, right? He took the kayfabe of the Joker and brought it into the real world, and now you're watching a film that's making a mockery of you for not understanding it, or something like that. It's like layers. And
I heard something weird like that. I'm like, or like I heard, what was it? They intentionally made it bad. I was like,
yeah.
What? Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. He's pulled the spirit of the Joker on you. Apparently, I don't know. But
don't care enough.
I don't know.
Don't care enough.
I mean, like some filmmakers, like if it was David Lynch, I'd be like, okay, I get that because that's the style of stuff he does. Or Miike Takashi, right?
Yeah,
fine, because they're wacky, right? But I'm like, no, Todd Phillips doesn't show me anything before that is kind of this direction, so I don't necessarily know. Maybe he just wanted to make a bad film, full stop. But that's different from making a film that's deliberately bad to metaphorically make you think it's something else.
But
next level,
I'll watch it eventually. I'm not like gonna kill myself to watch it. That's a
anyways, so Fantastic Four.
2 months time, isn't it? The next month.
What do you know about it? I'm not going to spoil anything for you if you don't know anything about it. I just saw bits and pieces on the trailer. Aside from female Silver Surfer and who is the herald to another character that will be making an appearance.
I know that. I know about that, and it's set in the 60s. That's all I literally know.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm not looking into it. I just want to see it for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Funny that Pedro Pascal is 2 years older than Ewan Griffin, who played Mr. Fantastic in the 2000s. Fantastic Four.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. That's hilarious.
We're still hoping for our other boy, the Maker, to make an appearance, right?
Yeah, man. I hope they do. And it's Miles Teller. Yeah, that'd be quite hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it would be cool. Like, so you got Doctor Doom as what's it called? Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark as Doctor Doom, right? No, it's Tony Stark, right? Because it could be Victor Von Doom variant, right?
Yeah.
But I think if they have the two other Mr. Fantastics in there, that'd be fun.
Even if it's just a cameo, it'd be quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, or they have the Reed Richards from the '90s Fantastic Four as well, just for the even further back.
For the 4 people that would care. I mean, like.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you know how I was saying, they should have Nicholas Hammond from the '70s Spider-Man in No Way Home, and you say for the 2-3 people that would care, right? Yeah. The 10 people I think you said at the time, maybe. He was supposed to have a cameo as a taxi driver in that film.
Really?
Yeah, and they didn't know how to fit in, so they just kind of didn't end up doing it.
But who? Like, that's not really bad, but who's gonna be like, oh, okay, that's that guy?
Yeah, but then when we were watching Shazam 2, and the kid that played Billy Batson in the '70s Captain Marvel made an appearance, and you didn't care. You're like one of those people that didn't care, right? You're just like, oh, this guy, he's wearing a yellow and red sweater.
See, literally until you said, I had no idea. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Well, okay. But we're hoping like the Mayfair is there somewhere, right? Just
yeah.
To get Miles, I wouldn't say Miles Teller back, but we can just then hate on the Maker as he's designed to be.
Yeah, the most hated character. Yeah. Such a dick. Yeah. Even though because he's such a dick, I like him in the comics.
No, but that's funny because the version of Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic movie does kind of.
Yeah, it could work that way. Yeah.
Yeah, he can be the Maker.
Yeah,
you can see it going in that direction.
Yeah, because he's unlikable. Not Martella, but that Reed Richards unlikable. Yeah. And they kind of hinted to like how he was in it. Like he was a bit of a. Know how they kind of always in every other universe they kind of had him as like he's dorky, but people like him.
Yeah.
But in that one, he did come off like as a super jerk. Like the Maker.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly the most. Yeah, exactly. Which is why we're like, if he goes to the Maker, that's cool.
Because like the Ultimate Fantastic Four in the comics, that's how Reed was as well. It's a bit of a like, you're not likable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see in 2 months' time.
Exactly.
Time,
we're gonna watch Superman as well, which is like, why don't you just first of all, I know they talk about competition and stuff like that, but really, are you gonna dent your own sales just to get a head start over someone else's film?
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have spaced it a bit further apart.
Yeah.
Like, look, if everyone makes money, well, good. Except that they're like, nah.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. But so what comes out first? Is it Fantastic Four, then Superman and Fantastic Four?
Is Superman in July? I think
they're both in July, isn't it?
No, it's Fantastic Four in June. No, maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know.
Let me quickly check. Fantastic. I spelled that completely wrong.
Yeah. You're about to spell it with the actual 4 in it.
Nah,
right?
Somehow I put a Y in there. I don't know how the hell I did that. All right. That comes out July 25th. All right. Superman.
July 14th. I bet you.
You might be right. I bet you're right. Oh no, 11th of July. Close enough. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Still
a bit dumb, but yeah. I hope they both.
All right. Okay. So, you're looking forward to both of those films?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to for both of them. I want good things to happen for both of them. All
right, cool. Okay, that's us signing off.
Oh, quick thing though. The guy who plays Perry White. He was the congressman in Thunderbolts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. All right. That dude's getting his payday.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Right.
Good on him, man. Good on him. I respect the hustle. But yeah, that's us. Yeah.
By the way, as well, randomly as we talk about, right? The last 2 Perry Whites have been black.
Yeah.
Does it matter to you? Like,
no.
As in the sense that sometimes they recast and you're like, oh, it's just diversity. But then sometimes you're like, all right, well, are they consistently going with it now?
I guess so.
Because I know it's like, okay, you had a couple of white Perry Whites, and then you got one black Perry White, which Then the next one after is also black, and you're thinking, it's just like, are they gonna?
It's a new staple going forward.
Yeah.
I think strange. I think it is. I don't really care, but yeah.
Okay.
It's one that he's like.
Because I was like, oh, all right.
He's one of those characters. He's important to Superman mythology, right? But his race has nothing to do with his character. So it's do what you want.
Yeah. That is true.
It's
that
like
is true.
Yeah. That.
So okay. So you in Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
New Mortal Kombat, right?
Yep.
And you know that dude that played Jax was Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl.
Yeah.
Right. That was what sold to me because, like, first of all, I don't mind he's black, right? But he's 6'5" or something like that. It's like this dude
it doesn't make sense.
More steel, John Henry Irons, right?
Yeah.
Than he is Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Even if it made Jimmy Olsen like a 6'2" white dude, like this doesn't. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
all the Jimmy Olsens I know is like some scrawny kid who looks up to Superman, not some like jack dude who.
Even though, funny enough, the Jimmy Olsen and Superman Lois was also taller than Tyler Hoechlin. And you're like,
yeah, but he looked nerdy, so I was like, okay, I kind of
yeah.
get over that. But yeah, it's like, okay, that's a weird choice. But alright, cool. Again, it's not the race thing. It's like the characters like that's okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, like it's like, all right. Well, yeah, okay. I'm waiting for when Perry White turns into he's an Indian guy or an Asian guy or something like that, even Russian or something like that, just for the jokes.
Cause what was it? Cause you know that Stephen Yoon. Oh, is that?
Yeah. He was going to be Sentry.
Yeah, and even now I was like, doesn't really make a difference. You might have to change. Actually, you don't have to change Sentry's surname or anything. Like, okay, it doesn't.
No, because could it just be half?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that'd have been cool. But then,
and they were just joking about. By the way, he's another hero that's wearing blue and yellow.
Oh yeah.
And is bulletproof.
Yeah.
And invincible.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Invincible. But yeah, so.
Which, by the way, I wonder how that would have turned out because he would have had to dye his hair blonde at a certain point. Yeah. And then you'd be like, Super Saiyan, right?
Yeah, like that's weird. Yeah. I'm kind of glad
he would have frosted tips more like rather than the full of blonde. But yeah, he could have gone full blonde and it would have been like, okay, all right, I suppose.
But I kind of like. I'm kind of glad he didn't get the role as Sentry because I think the guy who did it he done it really well. Like, oh, okay, I could believe this guy was a junkie at some point and that stuff. He kind of pulled it off well.
Because he's as far as we know, he's fresh and new to us, so we'd have no background to attach to him.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. But we'll see what comes next. Yeah, so that's us.
And maybe they'll get Stephen Yeun and they'll put him in a film like Shang-Chi, right? Because that's where all the Asians go.
Yeah. Because I know he's still going to be he wants to be he's going to be in the MCU, but I don't know as who. So that's going to be quite.
The new Iron Fist, even.
No.
Yeah. I know. Do you think it's too? By the way, do you think it's too soon to put Asian Iron Fist into? I'm not advocating for any. I'm just saying they've already got down around Iron Fist. They got Connie Wing, who, as far as we know, at the end of the Iron Fist series has the Iron Fist powers, and then you're just gonna prop another Iron Fist in the mix.
Just no reason behind it. Yeah, he's Iron Fist now. Okay.
And in fact, they still had the Iron Fist that was before Danny Rand's Iron Fist in the series as well. So you're going to tell me, even though it's like a once in a generation thing, you got 3 guys running around with and you got Steel Serpent trying to take it as well?
Yeah, make it make sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll see about that. We'll see about how all that turns out. Obviously, it's going to be all after Secret War and stuff like that. So yeah, not Secret War. Would it be after Secret War?
Maybe.
You reckon they'll tidy everything else up?
Maybe. Or they could draw. I don't know. We'll see.
That's because. Yeah. We'll see. Anyways, that was our review of Thunderbolts coming to an end. Yeah. We say. Yeah, thumbs up.
Go see it.
Indeed. Yeah. It's a good one.
Yes, pretty good. And yeah, so let us know what you thought of Thunderbolts, aka the new Avengers. Let us know what you think. Who also do you think is going to be on this new Avengers team and the actual non-government funded Avengers? Yeah, let us know who that's going to be. And you can do that by leaving a comment down below if you watch us on YouTube. If you're listening to this on an audio platform, you can leave us a message on Instagram and Twitter, or just comment under the episode link. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave us some 5-star reviews. All the information can be found on top of the screen if you watch us on the YouTubes. Down below if you're listening to it on the audio, it should be in the description bit. And yeah, until next time, guys, I have been the man who Russian is my first language, so my English is terrible, Carl Charles, and
I'm the lady who makes things up as they go along, but it all benefits me. So
me.
Hey, CY Chung.
And thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse, and don't fall into the void. It's a bad thing. And see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Boo.